a charm. So we want to dive into a lot of things. Gary is world renowned, and he's growing by the day in terms of recognition. He already has millions of followers. He's a master numerologist and a master number 33 at that. And we're so excited to have you with us to get some insight as to what exactly 33 tattoo.
I'm not a Freemason. That's the first thing people ask me. Am I a Freemason? I am not a Freemason. I don't have any issues with the Freemasons, but I like being the leader of my own group. And if I was a Freemason, I couldn't actually be the leader. So it is what it is. I want to get that out the way before people say, "Oh, this guy's just a Freemason." Nah, I'm not a Freemason.
Very valid points. By
this is take two. Let's get the most out of it, guys.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay, so the big buzz on everyone's lips is President Donald Trump, right? You were the only numerologist at Trump's inauguration, and it wasn't the first time, right?
No, I visited the White House December 15th, 2020 at the, when they stole the election, and then he was in the final days of his first administration. And quite frankly, I think it was within a week, maybe 2 weeks of leaving the White House, my bank account was basically shut down. My wife's bank account was shut down, and so was my brother's bank account.
Wow.
This is the price you pay for supporting President Trump. And guess what? I do it all over again. Okay?
So,
I do it all over again.
Was this Bank of America that shut you down?
No, it wasn't Bank of America. I'm not going to put the bank out there, but it's one of the big four.
Okay, yeah, because right now they're being hit right now because they shut a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I think
Of course
Chase
they did
as well. Yeah, and they're all denying it. They're like, "Oh, we didn't do anything wrong." We don't shut people down based on politics. That's a lie.
Of course, Donald
Yeah.
Trump is now president, and Donald Trump's got some teeth. So now, what has happened basically in Silicon Valley? Number
Bill's
one,
sucking up to him.
Mark Zuckerberg has bent the knee. And again,
Yep.
I have no issues with Mark. He's never suspended me on IG or anything like that. I think he's been fair with the way. Honestly, I think he's allowed more content than people give him credit for, especially with from the right. But let's not kid ourselves. Zuckerberg was over there, basically kissing the ring. Same thing with Jeff Bezos. He was over there kissing the ring. Elon already cut his deal with Trump. I think the day he got shot. Elon went straight forward and started supporting Donald Trump, which is, I don't have kind words to say about Elon, but that was big, man. And Elon did help him win the election. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely did.
See, that's the thing about me.
he did.
I want to make this abundantly clear. There's a difference between men and women. If a woman fucking hates you, she's going to hate. If she hates one thing about you, she's going to hate everything about you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look, everything. A man can hate somebody and still respect them and say, yo, this guy can do this and this and this. For instance, I have issues with Andrew Tate. I had issues with Andrew Tate before he became famous. But I still understand that Andrew Tate has one of the best mouthpieces in social media. That is the difference between a man and a woman. I can hate someone and still respect them, where if a woman hates somebody, it's game over.
Then Gary, you know what? I think there's so much merit to what you're saying because I'm one of 28, and I do think like a man in business. Because if I hate something about someone, I still can appreciate the good values that they have, the good qualities they have. And even call it out and say, you know what? They're a POS, whatever, but they're right about this. So
100%.
Yeah.
People born on the 28th. We'll get into that number quite often, and we'll get into that later. But, just very quickly, 2 and 8 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1. 1 is masculine energy. How do you know that? Alpha starts with A. A is the first letter. The English language is coded based off numerology. What do ones like to do? They like to argue. A lot of people who argue for a living are lawyers and attorneys. Argues, first vowel A. Lawyer, attorney, first vowel A. What do? They argue the law A. So people who have one energy, like Sheryl Sandberg, who's a 28, or Jessica Alba, who are 28. By the way, probably one of the few women who are self-made billionaires who didn't get it divorcing people. So again, it shows
mad
you
props.
that numerology supersedes even gender.
That's awesome.
What about Taylor Swift? What's she at?
Taylor Swift is a snake. And
This is
well,
pretty good.
we can talk about that.
Let's do it.
Taylor
let's talk about it.
Swift is born December 7th, 1989. No, I'm not sure if that's her. December
find out right
7th.
now.
Look it up real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna look up right now.
I think it's December 7th, 89. Damn, I usually have it off the top of my
It
head.
is December 13th, 89.
Okay, so December 13th, 89. She's a 7 life path. But, her and Elon have had some problems, haven't they?
Yeah.
Also,
Sort
she's
of.
a loner.
Yeah, she's a snake. She's a snake. Snake and pig are enemy signs. So you're always going to see that. AOC, that's someone else who had a problem with Elon.
Still
AOC
does.
is born 1989, the year of the snake. So you're going to see Steve Bannon, someone, shout out to Steve, someone I consider a patriot. Steve Bannon is a snake. And again, he's been going at Elon.
I love
and
Steve.
Elon is a pig. Pig and snakes are enemy signs. So you're going to see this all throughout life, all throughout history. And we can just go through the enemy sign combinations right now. The first enemy sign combination is the horse and the rat. Does that explain why Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, let's R.I.P. Kobe. But Kobe was born in 1978, the year of the rat. I'm sorry. He was born in 1978, the year of the horse. And he died in 2020, the year of the rat.
Wow.
Enemy signs. The next enemy sign combination is the ox and the goat. You know that one well. And when it comes down to people who are oxes and goats, we can see this throughout history. I'm going to spend some time on this one.
Please.
When it
Go
comes
ahead.
down to China, the communist regime in China started the country October 1949. 1949 is the year of the ox. They made a mistake by invading Vietnam in 1979, their enemy year, and they got their asses whooped. This is what happens when you do things in your enemy year. And quite frankly, if the Chinese want to invade Taiwan in 2027, good luck to you doing that in your enemy year, because that's when they're actually planning on doing it. Things could
It probably
change.
won't be 2027, given they pay attention to numerology, unlike a lot of Western governments.
Or you can do it next
They
year.
pay attention. They pay attention to this stuff, but do they actually apply it? I'm not sure the whole government applies it. I'm pretty sure the Chinese president does.
Yeah,
He's
Xi
a
Jinping
snake who
definitely
came to
does,
power.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a snake who is born 1953, year of the snake, and he came to power in 2013, the year of the snake, and he's president for life. Now, the reason the snake could do that is because he was basically the first president of China. Mao was a snake.
Wow.
So people who are snakes and oxes do very well. So in a ox nation, snakes will rise. But getting back to what I was saying between enemy signs, ox and goat, NATO founded 1949, the year of the ox, and Russia founded 1991, year of the goat. They have a proxy war going on in Ukraine right now.
Yep.
One of the things I love about numerology and astrology, because I was always a historian. I'd probably be a historian if I wasn't a numerologist and astrologer. I always loved history. And one of my loves about history was studying World War II. How did a prostitute from Vienna named Adolf Hitler basically become one of the most powerful men in world history? And by the way, he was that. No matter if you like him or not, he definitely was one of the most powerful men in world history.
Absolutely was.
But he was born in the year of the ox. He had Europe under control in 1941, year of the snake. So the ox, Hitler, is on top of the world in 1941, year of the snake. And then what happened? 1943, he loses Stalingrad. He
Right.
loses Kursk, the biggest tank battle in world history. That's it. It was only a matter of time before his regime collapsed.
Russia was the reason he
Everything
lost.
happened in his enemy year. Next one. There's another ox by the name of Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was born 1937, year of the ox. He took over Iraq in 1979, the year of the goat. So we have someone who came to power in his enemy year. He destroyed Iraq. Iraq was the crown jewel of the Middle East. He absolutely destroyed it. But let's go into the history. First Gulf War, 1991, year of the goat. Next
Yep.
Gulf War, 12 years later, 2003, year of the goat. So we have the ox who gets deposed in a goat year, just like Hitler started losing the war. And we got one more example, because I got plenty of these. When it comes down to history, if you understand numerology and astrology, you have such a cheat code in life. It is such a cheat code when you get this stuff.
One more example.
Barack Obama was born in the year of the ox. He signed a deal with Iran, 2015. That was his enemy year. Didn't
That's
work
a
out
big
too.
deal.
No.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst deal of his administration. And Barack Obama did some fucked up shit. I honestly believe that was a money laundering operation because he gave the Iranians about $2 billion in armed bills so the Treasury Department couldn't track the money. It was basically a money laundering operation because I'm 100% certain that the Iranians kicked some of that money back to Obama.
It always
We'll never
happens
know.
that way, though. Always happens that way. You know, any kind of all the money that's being spent in Ukraine, for example, it's all going to circle back in form of lobbying and government contracts into the
I mean, it already is. I mean, look at where the money's going right now. A lot of it's just disappearing, or they're paying NGOs that, eventually circle back to Americans.
You know, I want to.
Why are they so benevolent with giving away your money in foreign aid? Because
It's for
in
themselves.
America, it's very difficult to steal money unless you're Nancy Pelosi and just making
Yeah,
these
you do it
great
legally,
stock
right?
trades. And by the way, Donald Trump, Biden didn't pardon Pelosi.
Interesting.
Go for it.
Go after the bitch. You can
Yep.
go after and he didn't do that on purpose because he was mad at Pelosi for forcing him out and putting Kamala in. She was a big part of the reason he got forced out. So that's why he didn't pardon her. You can go after her. Make an example of politicians who make money on insider trading because of their positions. For God's sake, Nancy Pelosi is better than any AI ever invented at trading stocks. This is
true.
ridiculous. This is
Yeah, you know,
absolutely ridiculous.
There's something to that point. I understand that Trump's had a come to God moment, and he's changed, he's become more benevolent. But I say it, and I'm so glad that he's sticking to his guns on this. He has to make an example because if he doesn't do it,
Yes.
it's going to happen to the next person, and he has to set the
Yep.
standard now. And so you're absolutely right. The first time around, he didn't wipe house, he didn't clean house with the Obama holdovers, and it caused him trouble. This time around,
Yeah, but then,
he's cleaning house. I think he is at least, and I hope he is. So you're absolutely right. He has to make an example of these people who are just corrupting the system.
Now, Biden's a criminal. I agree with Elon on that. This is the Biden crime family. And you kind of feel bad for Biden. At least I do. He had this son called Beau Biden who died of brain cancer, I believe. And Beau Biden was supposed to be his bag man. He was supposed to be the guy who was running the money laundering operation. And then when he died, he had to go back on his crackhead son called Hunter Biden. You always got to feel bad for the guy because he worked all his life to get to the White House so he could steal all this money. And then he has to rely on a crackhead who's sleeping with prostitutes all day. And, that's the one thing. You can't lie about people's kids. You can't lie about people's kids. Donald Trump has good kids. You can't say they're in trouble for this, in trouble for this. But yet when it comes down to the Biden family, you have nothing but corruption. And by the way, I don't blame Biden for pardoning his son. I don't blame that at all.
No, anyone would have done it, I think.
I think most
it's his
people
son.
would have done that. Now, I do blame him for lying for 18 months saying he wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Because that's a blatant lie. But I don't blame him for doing it.
Don't
And
you
quite
expect
frankly,
that?
what's that?
But don't you expect it? Don't you expect these politicians to lie?
I do,
Double talk.
but that's not an excuse.
It's not. I agree with you. No one gets stuck.
That's not an excuse. That's just not an
yeah,
excuse.
he shouldn't have, right? He shouldn't have, but he did.
He should have said, we haven't made that decision yet. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, instead he
All
lied.
he had to do.
Through his teeth.
Why
It's
not?
like, I don't believe in
Instead
pardoning
of
people.
lying, that's all you had to say. And I'm going to make this abundantly clear. I don't care what type of criminal Joe Biden is, Donald Trump should not go after him. I do not want to live in a banana republic where when the opposition party comes to power, the leader goes to prison. I understand they tried to put Trump in prison. And if Trump did not win the election, he'll probably be sitting in a jail cell right now. I get that.
110%.
Yeah,
I
it would
get
be.
that. And I would probably be out this country because I did a lot to convince influencers who I manage and other people I'm in contact with to support Donald Trump, who had millions and millions of followers who were basically saying, yo, I don't want to support Trump because he's a Zionist. I convinced millions of these people to go for Trump through other people as well.
Wow.
And I understand they try to put you in prison, Donald Trump. I get that. But you have to be a better man about this and set an example where ex-presidents cannot go to prison.
I gotta tell you,
You know,
Harry,
they
also,
can't do it.
And he won't go after Biden because he has more integrity than that. I have to tell you. But the thing is,
It's so pointed. The guy's old. He's senile, right?
it's not just that. I agree, but also, look, I don't think that Biden was fully in control. I think he was also being.
Oh, obviously not. There's a guy
Obama
behind the
was.
teleprompter. It's a people
Obama
behind the
was.
teleprompter controlling. Yeah.
Exactly. It was-
So Obama was basically puppet master of the Biden regime until April 2023. Obama lives in D.C. He's the only ex-president to live in Washington D.C. because he basically decided to live in D.C. because he runs the deep state. Not sure if people know that, but he was one of the main actors, one of the main leaders of the deep state. He handicapped Trump's first presidency 100% with investigation after investigation after investigation. But when it comes down to it, Donald Trump beat him. He beat these guys. They threw everything at Donald Trump, and he beat them. They tried to kill him. They killed his ex-wife. Yes, they killed his ex-wife. They killed his brother. They hit him with 34 felony counts, and he still won the election. This is the greatest political comeback since maybe Julius Caesar.
I have the chills.
This is our Caesar. This is literally our Caesar. And I was critical of Donald Trump in 2020 because I thought he should have fought harder. I thought he should have activated the Marines and went into the states in 2020, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, because the Marines answer to Donald Trump and the president alone. They don't answer anyone else. And quite frankly, we know the 2020 election was stolen. We know that because anyone with common sense knows that now. But Obama got 66 million votes in 2012. And then, let's see, what happened?
Biden got 81 million, yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Clinton,
Kamala gets like 67 million.
Yeah, Clinton got about 67 million votes. Biden gets 81 million votes, and then it goes back down to about 67 million votes. Where did those 15 million votes go? Did Thanos snap his fingers and they just disappeared? Did the COVID vaccine get them? What happened to those 15 million votes? This election was stolen. And Donald Trump needs to make examples of these people. We need to believe in our election process because if we don't, if we can't believe America has free and fair elections, who are we going to tell the rest of the world? This is a corrupt election. This is a corrupt election. It happens here too. Yeah. Donald Trump needs to make an example of these people, not with Obama, he's ex-president, not with Biden, he's an ex-president, but with people beneath him who had things to do with this election being stolen. Donald Trump is 3-0 in elections. He has never lost an election in his life. And these are straight up facts, and we know this is true.
He and I are with you.
But maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
No, I think it was a blessing in disguise because the Biden presidency was just so bad, right? So fucking awful that Trump is now rectifying it, and he looks really good doing so.
A lot of people could say that, we probably wouldn't have the debacle in Afghanistan if Trump was in office. We probably wouldn't have the war in Palestine, Israel if Trump was in office. We probably wouldn't have, we wouldn't have the war in Ukraine.
Wouldn't have it,
No way.
We wouldn't have any of that. So there's a lot of bad stuff that happened. But now, Donald Trump coming back, he is literally the most powerful president in American history since George Washington.
Wow.
I want to make this clear. He's the most powerful president in American history since George Washington.
And you know what,
What
Gary?
does this mean?
And you know what, Gary? He wouldn't have been if he hadn't been taken advantage of in 2020.
Yeah.
Honestly, it had to happen this way because America had to be saved. And
here's another thing, right?
Second consistent term, I think it would have been right back to the same old.
100%. Like
After-
here's a big thing. So without 2020, right, we would not have seen a ramp up of transgenderism, DEI, all that stuff, CRT, Black Lives Matter. None of that would have happened, and it would have just been more Trump. But it would have stayed on the DL, and then afterwards it would have risen up. Now, what happens was all of that, happened. It happened bigly under Biden. He blew it all up. DEI was all over the military, all over the government, CRT, all in colleges, and now Trump comes into power. He gets to kill all of it, and he has the mandate to do so because we know what the world looks like in a world that's run by DEI. We got 4 years of it. We don't want any of it anymore. It's done. It's finished. He has a mandate to get rid of all of it.
Second
And
one.
just today, right, he's getting rid of all transgender people in the military. He would not have been able to do this 4 years ago.
Nothing but love for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing but love, because these transgenders are mentally ill.
Yes, they
There
are.
is
Okay?
mental
They're
health.
mentally ill. But we have doctors who are taking advantage of mentally ill people and mutilating them.
Yep.
These doctors need to be held accountable.
Yes, they do.
They
They're
literally
cutting off
need to
kids'
be held
body
accountable.
parts. Yeah.
This is sick, and quite frankly, a lot of people need to go to jail for this.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of
They
people need to go to
this.
jail for this. They need to answer for their crimes.
Yep.
I don't know how else to say it.
I
These
wanna
people
be-
Reckoning
need to
is
be
coming.
inside of a jail cell.
I want
Yeah,
to talk.
the reckoning is coming.
Reckoning is coming. Gary, I want for the audience, you have a very strong base of loyal followers and growing, not just in America, but across the world. And I
Yes.
just want to say, for those in our audience today who aren't very familiar with how you got your start, how you've gotten into numerology, you stated before that you got into it because of 9/11. Would love if you could elaborate for our audience today
Yeah.
and talk about 9/11, 11, all of that, so they can
Yeah, of
understand you
course.
better.
On September 11th, I woke up and I saw, the Twin Towers burning, and I thought I was watching the movie Die Hard. That's what I thought. I thought it was a Bruce Willis movie, and then, I woke up and I'm like, why is the movie on at 8 o'clock in the morning? Doesn't make any sense. And then when I saw that second plane hit, I was like, whoa, this shit's real. So, one of the things is, throughout that day, like right after I saw that happen, I rolled up a blunt. I went outside and I smoked one for all the people, who died. It is what it is, man. I went out there and I showed my respect to them. That's how I paid respect. And then, I saw that the first plane to hit the World Trade Center was Flight 11. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, I saw that, the Twin Towers looked like an 11 side by side. I saw they both had 110 stories. And I'm like, wait a second, this is kind of unusual. Well, is there
Yeah, number
anything
11.
else here? And then I saw the Pentagon, 11 letters, New York City, 11 letters, Afghanistan, 11 letters, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, again, Shanksville, 11 letters. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I started, going deeper and deeper into this. I'm like, wait a second, is someone doing something on purpose? And what hit me was, like I told you guys, I'm a historian. I love history. And I always remember that the Great War ended, World War I, which wasn't called World War I at the time. It was called the Great
Yes,
War.
Great War.
And,
Yeah.
and it ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock. Not 10:55. They're still fighting bullets.
11
each
o'clock,
other.
yeah.
11 o'clock. So you have 11, 11, 11. That's when they stopped the war. At that point, I'm looking at all the 11s. I'm looking at the police code for emergency, which is 9/11. I'm like, wait a second. Is someone doing something on purpose? Because at that point, I saw smoke. And then I started investigating Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. And I saw Al-Qaeda was founded on August 11th. And I'm like, wait a second. The organization they're blaming on doing this was founded on the 11th?
Yeah.
I'm like, something ain't right. And then, throughout history, you see Al-Qaeda hit Madrid, Spain. On March 11th, they hit Mumbai, India. On July 11th. I mean, their three biggest terrorist attacks
You're
were all
right.
on 11 days. So at this point, I'm like, okay, there's no way this is coincidence. And it was about 2002 at this point. And I decided I'm going to go to all the top numerologists and talk to them. And, I got professional courtesy. These people talked to me on the phone. And I asked them, do you think it's possible that the elite are using numerology to plan terrorist attacks? They all said I was crazy. They all said this is nonsense. That's not how numerology works. And then I figured out all these people were poor. And I'm thinking, wait a second.
Why am I taking advice
If you
from them?
guys, if you guys are the best at what you guys do,
Why are they poor?
why are you poor? It didn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me. So at that point, threw all the numerology books away, threw everything away, and I just started studying people. George W. Bush, 11 letters. Barack Obama, 11 letters. And by the way, Obama's the most interesting one of all. Obama, born 8/4/1961, 8/4/1961, adds up to 29, 29 and 11. He became president in 2009, 209, adds up to 11. He was president when he was 47 years old.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, we know what's going on here. And then I start looking at the list of all the greatest 11s throughout, American history. Obviously Donald Trump is the greatest now, but before then, the greatest Republican president in modern American history was Ronald Reagan. He was an 11 life path. A lot of people don't know this. Joe Biden is pretty much nothing. He's brain dead right now. But 20 years ago, that boy had a mouthpiece on him. He was really good. He's on 11 life path as well. So what I started noticing was a lot of these 11s tend to be in positions of power politically. You can go to Muammar Gaddafi, who ran Libya from 1969 to 2011. He's born 6/7, 1942, adds up to an 11. He was in control of a country for 40 freaking years. Do you understand the type of charisma you have to control a country for 40 freaking years? Hosni Mubarak, born 5/4, 1928, was in charge of Egypt for about 40 freaking years. I don't care what you think about their politics. I don't care if you're leftist or rightist. They're extremely good at what they do to stay in power for 4 decades. And I started looking at this. Tony Blair, another 11. So you start looking at this, and it's not just politicians. You start looking at athletes. Michael Jordan is an 11. And I noticed 11s are the best athletes. Michael Jordan, born 2/17, 1963, adds up to an 11. Michael was Kobe Bryant's mentor. Kobe Bryant is born 8/23, 1978, adds up to an 11. And again, if you add up all the numbers together, I did the math for you guys. You can, do it yourself. I'm not going to waste time doing every single one. But who was who did Kobe mentor? Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is born 3/23, 1992, and he's an 11. And by the way, Kyrie's all into numerology. Kobe is the 11th letter, K. Kyrie, the 11th letter, K. So this is all over, whether you look at sports, whether you look at politics, whether you look at world events. Katrina, you're going to notice a lot of these terrorist attacks or natural disasters happen on 11 days. The worst hurricane. The worst...
What was Helene, North Carolina?
What's that?
Helene in North Carolina. Hurricane.
It probably had some 11 energy. I just don't remember that one off the top of my head, but I know Katrina was the worst one.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
and Katrina happened on the 29th. 2 and 9 adds up to an 11. Katrina starts with a K. They told you. They told you what it was. You just have to be able to read between the lines. And to some people, I sound crazy right now.
No, you don't.
But some people are watching this. I'm going to look crazy to them. But I want you to understand something. This is how the elite run things. This is what they use. This is the knowledge they have. And they're telling you to read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the other religious books, but they are using numerology and astrology. And I basically just proved that. No one can prove me wrong. I did not tell any lies here.
No.
All of
This
that
is like the
stuff is
movie
absolutely
Pi.
real.
You've been watching movie Pi? Such a
I
great
have.
film. You have, right?
Well,
yeah.
as
And
long
he
as you have-
notices like the numbers, like the number of God, right? And it's like, this reminds me of that. It's like where he decodes the universe, so to speak. And, for a lot of people, I think, if they want to look for answers, maybe this is it. I don't know. I'm personally, I'm skeptical, but, the universe is a weird place.
Men lie. We know women lie, but numbers never lie. Remember that.
That's good.
Numbers are God's language. That is how God, or what I call the prime creator, communicates us. Numerology is a gift from the prime creator.
You're right.
He gave us a path.
So you know
And
what?
the English language is basically covered with numerology because the people who created the English language, they used numerology in its creation.
So what do you say about gematria?
Listen, it's real. The only difference is you can change names, you can't change birthdays.
Okay, got it.
So, that's the difference. But yeah, I use gematria all the time. We just started talking about Kobe K, Kyrie K. K is the 11th letter. It's all there. Katrina K. It's all there. By the way, the biggest crash in Wall Street history, October 29th, 1929. Again, on the 29th. It's always there, guys.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if it's a natural disaster, a financial meltdown, or a war. It's always around those dates.
So let's shift a little bit. We're talking about world leaders, right? And their impact. Most are life path 11s, most of the dictators. Can we
Yes.
talk for a moment about Vladimir Putin, October 7th, 1952?
Yeah. He's a very, very smart man.
Very.
He's a 7 life path. And quite frankly, we need to be friends with Russia. Russia is not our enemy. Russia is the deep state's enemy. Russia is not America's enemy. We need to have a pact with Vladimir Putin. And quite frankly, I think that's still possible.
I think so too.
If you want,
I think so too. Yeah.
and if you go and you look at Vladimir Putin, he has a very, very interesting history. Vladimir Putin is born in the year of the dragon. He came to power in 2000, which is the year of the dragon. So you have a dragon coming to power in a dragon year, and he's been running that country like a strong man for a long time. Let's make no mistake. Russia is a mob-run dictatorship. There is no doubt about that. But I can tell you, with everything I know, Vladimir Putin loves his country.
He does.
Joe Biden doesn't love America. He just wants to steal as much money as possible.
America out.
100%. So we have a leader there who actually loves his nation. Excuse me. When it comes down to the mistake the Americans made, well, actually Hillary Clinton made, was that she decided to try to run a revolt against Vladimir Putin in 2012. What kind of moron tries to take a dragon out in a dragon year? What are you, out your mind?
He's much smarter
You
than
think
her.
you think you're going to depose a dragon in a dragon year? Are you out your mind, Clintons? And again,
Yes,
we're
I'm
talking
Clinton.
about the Clinton crime family. This is a whole different ball game. We'll get into
Oh yeah,
them
we
later.
could go into Arkansas.
We
and
could
they ran this whole corruption
of
racket.
course, 100%, man. And
1986 was it? I mean, they helped the CIA basically launder money there. You know, with all the
100%.
Iran Contras. Yeah.
And the CIA made mistakes with this too.
Yeah, they
in
did.
2002, the CIA overthrew Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. And
Yeah.
if it was a failed coup because they went after Hugo Chavez, a horse, in 2002, a horse year.
Wow.
So again, you don't go after people in their own year. You're gonna fail. This is stuff I've seen throughout history. You just don't do that.
That's incredible.
And before I forget, let's go back through all the other enemy sign combinations. We talked about the pig in the. We talked about the rat and the horse. We talked about the ox and the goat. Let's talk about the tiger and the monkey. Those are enemy signs. The Prime Minister of India Modi is born in the tiger year. Before he was Prime Minister, he was on no-fly list to America. America founded 1776, the year of the monkey. So the Prime Minister, before he was a Prime Minister, was actually barred from coming to America. Enemy signs. How many Hollywood actors do you know who went to jail for tax evasion?
I can't think of any.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. He said that, not me. Wesley Snipes is born in the tiger year. So, see, most people will start going around saying, oh my God, they locked up a black man. This racist ass America. Nah, motherfucker, it has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, he is born in the tiger year. America's a monkey year. Boom. That's what happens.
bastard.
You guys know of a guy named Dan Bazarian?
Yeah, of course.